All right, let's talk about Suncor Energy's fourth quarter earnings for 2025. And, this wasn't just a good quarter, it was genuinely historic. So today, we're going to break down exactly what went down, how they pulled it off, and what it all means for what's coming next. Okay, so here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with the big headline numbers from their amazing quarter. Then we'll get into their, frankly, unbelievable 3-2 plan. After that, we'll dig into the secret sauce behind their success, see how that translated to paying back shareholders, and then wrap up with a little peek into the future. And really, to set the tone, you just have to look at this quote from the CEO, Rich Kruger. He's not pulling any punches here. He's saying, look, this isn't about small wins. We're talking about a complete demolition of previous records. So, let's dive right into Section 1, the results. The massive, record-shattering results. And believe me, this isn't just hype. The numbers here really do speak for themselves. It's really as simple as that. In the last few months of 2025, Suncor put together the single best operational quarter in the entire history of the company. I mean, not just a good one, not just a record breaker, but the best ever. So how'd they do it? Let's look at the two numbers that tell the story. First up, upstream production. It hit an absolutely staggering 909,000 barrels per day. And just to put that into perspective for you, this didn't just inch past the old record. It completely smashed it by 34,000 barrels a day. That's a huge, huge leap. And guess what? It's the exact same story on the downstream side of the business. Their refining throughput also hit an all-time high, 504,000 barrels a day. I mean, they were just firing on all cylinders, from getting oil out of the ground to processing it. So the million-dollar question is, how did they pull this off? And this is what's so brilliant about their strategy. This growth didn't come from some splashy, expensive acquisition. Nope. They added 114,000 barrels a day of production in just 2 years using the exact same assets they already had. It was all organic, growth from within, as their CEO called it. And this leads us to what is, honestly, the most impressive part of this whole story, the 3-2 plan. Suncor basically laid out these super ambitious goals for a 3-year period, and then just blew right past all of them a full year ahead of schedule. Just take a look at this table. It tells you everything you need to know. They targeted production growth of 108,000 barrels a day in 3 years. They hit 114,000 in just 2. Their goals for lowering their break-even price and growing free cash flow, yeah, they met those a whole year early too. And that net debt target they were hoping to hit by the end of 2026, they actually got there way back in the third quarter of 2024. I mean, they delivered on every single promise and did it early. The CEO really summed it up perfectly. This isn't just about spreadsheets and numbers. It's about rebuilding trust. It's about proving that the company does what it says it's going to do. And by crushing their own targets, they send a really clear message to the market. The new Suncor delivers. Period. Okay, so we've seen the incredible what. Now let's peel back the layers a bit and get into the how. What were the real tangible changes happening on the ground that actually powered this amazing turnaround? What really came down to a total overhaul of their culture. They set crystal clear priorities and really ambitious targets, not just for the year, but for every single day, week, and month. They started, in their words, shamelessly embracing what their competitors were doing best. They fostered teamwork, and they tied people's pay directly to performance. It just created this whole new mindset of constantly getting better. And if you want a perfect example of how small changes led to massive results, look no further than their Montreal refinery. The people working on the ground, the field operators, they flagged a bottleneck. The fix? A tiny investment of just $100,000 to replace a few small parts. And the result? An extra 20,000 barrels a day of throughput, which generates, get this, $100 million in value every single year. I mean, talk about a staggering return on investment. Wow. So all this operational success is great, but how does it actually translate into value for shareholders? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't mean much if it isn't strengthening the company's finances and rewarding investors, right? Well, just look at the transformation on their balance sheet. 3 years ago, their net debt was nearly double what it is today. Now, it's down to 6.3 billion Canadian dollars, which is the lowest it's been in over a decade. This company is financially rock solid. And that financial strength is what allows them to consistently return cash to shareholders. They cranked up their share buybacks to $275 million a month. And here's the kicker. They did that even as the price of oil was falling hard in late 2025. from $75 down to $58 a barrel. It just goes to show that shareholder returns are now a top priority, not just some afterthought that depends on high oil prices. Suncor's CFO Troy Little put it best. Their whole philosophy has completely flipped. They used to treat shareholder returns as something they'd pay out with whatever cash was left over. Now, they pay the dividends and fund the buybacks first. Only then do they look at other ways to spend money. So, they did it. They achieved a 3-year plan in just 2 years. They've shattered every record in the book. The company is running like a finely tuned machine. So, where on earth do you go from here? What could possibly come next?
Well, they're definitely not resting on their laurels. On March 31st, they're holding a new investor day to lay out the next chapter, a whole new long-term plan with goals for the next 3 years and even the next 15 years, all focused on future development.
And that really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? When you've just delivered the best year and the best quarter in your company's entire history, where do you go from there? I mean, how do you top perfection? The CEO leaves us with this final thought, which is really a statement of incredible confidence. It tells you that even after a year of absolutely shattering records, the team believes the best is still yet to come. All eyes are going to be on that new plan at the end of March. Thanks for joining me.